This Week with Bob Mueller on News 2.
This week,
it was quite frightening.
It's been 10 months since Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine and Ukraine's determination to fight back.
They're internally displaced people who were forced to leave their homeland.
Days, weeks, and months of rocket attacks on cities and towns led to thousands of homeless Ukrainians, many fleeing as refugees from their own country.
The cowardly tactics of Russia, instead of, fighting at the battlefield and making progress there, they're bombing maternity hospitals.
The work of aid workers like Memphis resident Christina Katrakis has been the difference between life and death for so many.
We need to survive this cold and dark winter. It's going to be difficult, and we need world support and help and action to survive it.
Tennessee photojournalist David Van Hooser traveled to Ukraine last summer to document Christina's heroic work.
We refuse to leave our base. Our team remains here, and we're determined to help.
Tonight, we speak with Tennessean Christina Katrakis, the only ambassador for the International Relations Foundation of the United Nations to remain in Ukraine, helping Ukrainians once the rockets started falling. Hello again, and welcome to a special edition of This Week. Last June, Nashville photojournalist and my friend David Van Hooser shared with us his travels to Ukraine to document the war and the relief work of his friend, fellow Tennessean Christina Katrakis, ambassador for International Relations Foundation for the United Nations SDG. Tonight, we will speak with her from Ukraine. We begin with Christina in her own words.
On this cold, dark day, here on Maidan Nezalezhnosti, Independence Square in Kyiv, Ukraine, I'm reminded of 2014, the independence of dignity, when I, along with my friends and family and thousands of Ukrainians, stood here defending Ukraine, defending human rights, defending democracy. Right now is a similar time, dark time for Ukraine. And once again, I'm next to this monument, a monument made by an Ukrainian sculptor, Anatoly Kush, my father. For a model, he chose me. I'm still humbled and hope to live up to this honor with my deeds till the end. My name is Christina Katrakis. I'm the ambassador for the Foundation for United Nations SDG. I'm the only foreign representative of the foundation to remain in Ukraine and refuse to leave with my family, trying to deal with the humanitarian crisis on hand. In fact, on the third day of war, we have opened a base and storage in western Ukraine, town of Vorokhta, where we now house and help more than 5,000 internally displaced people. Half of them are kids from areas like Mariupol, Kharkiv, Kherson, and Mykolaiv. In addition, we help thousands of families and kids at the front lines. We need your help. We need you to become our guardian angel. This monument is often referred to as a guardian, as a protectress. And I believe that each one of you could become a guardian angel, a superhero that could save thousands of lives by helping us to continue on helping. As an American, I believe that we should stand for what is right. We should stand for democracy. We should stand for light against the darkness. And I plead to you to act, to help us to continue on helping thousands here on the ground in Ukraine. Thank you, and God bless you.
National photojournalist and my friend David Van Hooser joins me in studio. Christina will join us from Ukraine momentarily. But briefly, David, give folks an overview of your trip last summer, what you saw of the war, Ukraine, her relief effort, the remarkable work she's doing, and the conditions there.
Okay, I went over there in April, May of this year at Christina's invitation, and to visit her work in Western Ukraine, humanitarian work in Western Ukraine. And I already knew Christina had a wonderful heart and a giving spirit. I just didn't know how much. And what she's doing is helping refugees, internally displaced people, who have fled the immediate war zones in eastern Ukraine.
She is saving people's lives.
She is saving people's lives. Yeah, she's providing, she and her group, I'll say that, her husband and her group are providing for daily needs, food, clothing, shelter, but also saving, by token of doing that, saving their lives. She is doing that.
Christina is a remarkable, brave, caring woman who loves her homeland and has refused to leave despite the constant danger from the Russian invasion.
Since 2001, the Independence Monument has proudly stood over the capital city of Ukraine. The figure at the top is seen by many as the embodiment of Ukraine itself, as a protector, even a guardian. It was created by sculptor Anatoly Kush, my father. For the model of the face and figure, my father chose me. My name is Christina Katrakis. During the winter of 2013 and 2014, this monument lived up to its name as I and thousands of Ukrainians gathered around it to protest for the right to choose a future of freedom for our country. I was humbled then and even more so now, because I know this monument isn't about me or the independence of just one person. It's about millions of Ukrainians, men, women, and children who want to live in a free country, a democracy. Ukrainians whose peace and way of life are attacked daily in an unjust and brutal war. In association with the Foundation for United Nations SDG, I and my family have joined many others to provide refugees and internally displaced people with safety, security, and life's basic needs. We desperately work to provide them with food, clothing, shelter, and hope. Most of them are kids, orphans, families with multiple kids, and women. And now, more than ever, we need your help. Your gift to the Foundation for United Nations SDG to help Ukraine literally saves lives. We provide for the daily needs not only displaced people in Western Ukraine, but also for those in the rubble and ruin of active war zones. We work with everyday heroes who travel a network of routes into these areas. In your own way, you can become a superhero, a protector, a guardian angel to millions. Every donation is accounted for and put to use for needs including medical help. Please give. Until the day when the eyes of the Independence Monument look down upon a city and country once again at peace, God bless you.
When we come back, a conversation with Ambassador for International Relations from the UN, aid worker and Tennessean Christina Katrakis. Welcome back to This Week with my friend, photojournalist David Van Hooser. We are excited to be speaking tonight with Christina Katrakis. Welcome, Christina. We're so proud to be able to tell your story from Ukraine. And the first thing I want to say, we can obviously see no power, no electricity, no heat. The Russians have changed tactics. They're now going for infrastructure. Winter's approaching. How bad are conditions there?
Well, you can see my breath, right? It's true Christmas spirit, but Ukrainians are amazing people. They're not giving up. And me being partially Tennessean, I'm not giving up either. So I'm here and I'm going to keep on helping till the end. We have no light, no internet, no cellular connection right now here, and no heat. So we use wood, we use candles, and we use generators, but to get generators, we need funds, we need aid. So right now, for us, the most important thing is to survive this cold and dark winter, because for many, many thousands of Ukrainians, it's going to be crucial.
Christina, you have faced the teeth of the bombing and the rocket attacks, as have the people of Ukraine. Talk about their resiliency, talk about their determination to not only survive this, but to win this war.
Oh, I think they already won it because, to go against such a monster and not, be scared and not to give up and to guard the rest of the Western world with their lives, literally, gosh, that's already a victory. But, my point is we should not give up on Ukraine and we should not forget Ukraine and we should be very grateful to these people for guarding us and guarding democracy and Western values with their own lives. And we should act and support. It's not enough just to say that Russia is a terrorist state and do nothing. That's a height of hypocrisy. If you say that, that person is a terrorist, then you must act upon it to stop that evil.
Christina, this is David. I just wanted to, just something I told you when I was over there and something I've told people consistently since I've come back. I admire the resolve of not just you, but your people, of Ukrainians. And I continue to this day to be impressed that, that no matter what is thrown at them, that there's a determination and a resolve, not just to survive this, but to emerge from this better and to help people along the way. It's not just self-focused, that it's just about me surviving. Christina's not just about her surviving. It's about enabling other people to make it through this.
Christina, talk about what folks are going to encounter as they try to come back, as this war hopefully comes to an end soon. Your country's been destroyed, basically.
Well, it is damaged to a large extent, but people are not giving up. They're going to stand till the end because, the light and the good is on their side. The God is on their side. They did not attack anyone. They're guarding their own homes. They're guarding their own children. They're guarding their own families. They know what they're fighting for. The Russian soldiers don't know what they're fighting for. They're just told to go and fight, because Russia wants more territory and wants to get more land and more power, but it's kind of like Nazis during the World War II, really. So, Ukrainians know what they're defending and they know what they have at stake. So they're not going to lose that. They're not going to give up on their families. They're not going to give up on their children. They're not going to give up on their wives and mothers. No. And me being Tennessean, I believe that that's what we should always stand for. We stand for democracy. We stand for the light. We stand for the good. And right now is the season of giving and the season of remembering what is the birth of good all about, right? Christmas is not about buying a new sweater. Christmas is about the birth of Jesus, right? And the birth of light, the birth of star into this world. And that's what I think right now is going on. We see that light and dark battle. And I urge people to take sides because the worst that you can do is be ignorant and not take sides. And if you pretend that evil doesn't happen and the war doesn't happen, then it will be too late. It'll come to your door if you don't act and help right now.
Christina,
but
this week, Christina, your president, Zelensky, was Time Magazine's Man of the Year. What do you think about him as a leader? He's never been in this position before, relatively new as president. He has taken this burden on his shoulders.
Well, I think that Time Magazine stated very clearly that it's Zelensky and the spirit of Ukraine, right? And if not for Ukrainian spirit, I think that Zelensky wouldn't be Zelensky. And if not for Ukrainian army that does miracles and probably is the best army right now in the world, the Ukrainian spirit, the Ukrainian army, the resilience of these people make Zelensky Zelensky. So, in a way, he has no choice but to be a good president, because he has to live up to the spirit that his nation has, to the hopes that his nation has put upon his shoulders.
Stay with us, Christina. This week we'll continue in a moment. More from Ukraine with Christina Kastrakis as we continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to This Week in our conversation from Ukraine with aid worker and ambassador of international relations for the UN, Christina Kastrakis, whose main goal is helping and feed Ukrainian refugees. But she is also trying to help innocent animals caught in the crossfire.
Well, as you know, our main focus was on internally displaced people and kids, and we have kids from 3 months old and up. from areas like Mariupol, from Kharkiv regions, from Mykolaiv, Zaporizhia, and what's not. And we were providing their, aid for them on daily, monthly basis. We found that not only that kids and families were destroyed, were ruined by the consequences of war and Russian tyranny, but animals were in horrible, devastating state, and we just could not ignore that, because we saw pictures of animals basically starving, walking bones, and so we had to act. We had to do something, because they do not have the voice that kids or women or men have. Russians were using animals as targets for shooting, so we have dogs with bullets in the spine and legs and so on. I mean, no surprise. I mean, they treat people like that. So, what do you expect? How do you expect Russians to treat animals, right? But realize that a major campaign has to happen, and we have to save those animals. We have to provide them aid. So what we decided to do is to join the two projects together. The rehabilitation of the internally displaced kids and people, civilians that were traumatized by the war at the front lines. A lot of them went through bombing, shelling. We have 6-year-old kids that stopped talking because of that. We have raped women and so on. And animals that went through a similar experience, right? Because some of them are so depressed because they were abandoned, because they were under shelling, and they just even cannot eat, basically. So we decided to join them together, like join forces where an animal will help a human being to heal and vice versa. So by working together with those rescued animals, these rescued people, kids, will have another chance for the future.
Christina joined us live again, once again from Ukraine. Christina, in the time we have left, what's the message for the folks here in the U.S. watching the war in Ukraine on their television, not necessarily in person like you're seeing the aftermath?
Well, Bob, you mentioned the Time magazine, right? And I'm one of the people represented in the Time magazine cover as a symbol of Ukraine, as the monument, right? So, and it's a great honor for me to embody that spirit, the Ukrainian spirit in the way, and I hope to live up to it. And so on behalf of Ukraine and Ukrainian people, I would like to ask all people of the world and people of the United States to continue on helping Ukraine, to continue on supporting us, and to remember in this cold winter what giving is all about. And I'm talking to Christians, non-Christians, everyone who worships and believes in good. Please help us to continue on helping. Please help us to continue on helping IDPs, internally displaced people in our base. We have more than 5,000 kids from frontal regions, and David saw them. Please help us to continue on helping people that are still in the front lines, living and having no light, no food, nothing. I call on to fellow Tennesseans, great Tennesseans such as Ms. Dolly Parton and others. Please, I know you have good heart. I know that you help kids. Hear our plea. This is not about Ukraine. This is about the world. This is about Western values. This is about democracy. And this is about the light of giving and caring. And the world needs you now.
Christina, through all of this, through 9 months, 10 months of this war, you have never lost hope. How do you do that?
I have you, David. Whenever I'm down in spirits, I'm calling my fellow Tennessean, and I'm like, I need that Tennessee wife. Come on, give it to me, David. And David says, you have to go on. You have to go on. And I'm going on. So I want to say thank you, Tennessee. And thank you, my fellow Tennesseans and amazing people like you, David, and you, Bob, for showcasing and helping and supporting us. And I call on to everyone to remember what giving is all about and to give to those that have none. Because it's not about buying new sweater and returning the gifts you don't like. It's about, getting a generator, It's about, buying lights, buying power stations so that kids could have at least a little bit of heat and a little bit of hot water to drink, and babies could have the mixture to drink that would be warm, not freezing, So we're talking about basic things. People here have none, and they're so happy. I go to kids, even my son, he changed since the war started, and he's an American. But he changed because, he's happy now about basic things like, Mom, there's light. There's light, Mom. There's heat. And a toy, something tiny, small, new sweater can make a person here not just happy, but
Christina
give life.
Katrakis, we can't thank you enough for your efforts, what you're doing there. You're saving lives. You're a brave woman. Keep up the effort. We will keep the information going here as much as we can. Stay with us. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay with us. This Week continues in a moment. And that will do it for this special edition of This Week. I do want to thank my guest, David Van Hooser. David, terrific work you've done there, going over there and just telling the stories of the folks in Ukraine. And obviously, we want to thank Christina Katrakis for joining us live tonight from Ukraine. We leave you tonight with this QR code. Should you like to help the relief effort in Ukraine? We hope so. We hope to see you back here next weekend for another edition of This Week. Between now and then, have a great week and have a great holiday season.